Would you want to get inside the head of a serial killer? At least one, the Gainesville Ripper, co-wrote a book attempting to explain and justify his crimes. Keep watching to learn all about it. Danny Rolling, otherwise known as the Gainesville Ripper, went on a 3-day murder spree in Gainesville, Florida in 1990. Before he committed the crimes, he was in the Air Force but was let go due to drug possession. After his return to civilian life, Rolling eventually married and had a daughter, and for a while his life seemed normal. However, the marriage soon led to divorce, as Rolling's wife claimed that her husband was abusive. It was after the divorce when Rolling's violent behavior escalated, and he was eventually imprisoned in 1979 for armed robbery. In 1990, Rolling decided to target college students. He set up a campsite in a wooded area behind the University of Florida and went on a rampage. The first 2 victims, freshman students Sonia Larson and Christina Powell, were raped and ruthlessly stabbed to death in their home. The third victim, Krista Hoyt, was also killed in her home. The next 2 murder victims, Tracy Paulus and Manny Taboda, were also attacked and murdered inside their house. It wasn't until 2 years later that the Gainesville Ripper would be charged. Rolling was already in prison for robbery when his DNA was matched to the pieces of evidence in the Gainesville murders. Rolling claims, as reported by the Orlando Sentinel, that he murdered the women as a form of revenge for the verbal and physical abuse he experienced as a child from his parents. He was also linked to the murders of Julie Grissom, her father Tom, and her nephew Sean, bringing Rolling's victims to 8. During his time in prison, Rolling started a relationship with Sandra London, a freelance crime journalist who would eventually become his fiancée. The two met in 1992 through letters, and they met in person for the first time when London visited Rolling in prison. They immediately gravitated toward each other and started a romantic relationship soon after their meeting.
I've been studying serial killers for about 5 years.
In an interview with the Washington Post, London recalled seeing Rolling for the first time, saying, "I approached my meeting with Danny thinking I was prepared for anything. But there was one thing I was not prepared for. I had no idea what a fine-looking man he is today. Instead of the broken and dejected loser I'd seen on TV, standing before my hungry eyes was one gorgeous hunk of man." It was London who helped the convicted murderer write a book about his crimes titled The Making of a Serial Killer: The Real Story of the Gainesville Murders in the Killer's Own Words, which was released in 1996. In the book, Rolling described the grisly details of the murders, as well as his reasons for killing, saying that he was possessed by a demon named Gemini. The book contains his motivations for the murders, as well as reflections on how he became a serial killer. According to Biography, psychiatrists who treated Danny Rolling found that he suffered from a severe form of personality disorder. However, they also said that he was well aware that his actions were wrong. Ultimately, Rolling was deemed sane and had an average IQ. However, according to the Orlando Sentinel, his defense psychologist, Elizabeth McMahon, said Rolling was a complicated person who does not fall under a specific diagnosis. Rolling and London were sued by the state of Florida after the release of the book. Per the Son of Sam laws, criminals are prohibited from gaining profit from works about the crimes they've committed. London was ordered to submit an account of the money she obtained by selling Rolling's artwork, autographs, letters, and books. A judge ordered all profits from the sales of the book and other items related to the murders to go to the families of the victims. However, the mother of one of the murdered women said that her family didn't want to accept blood money. A judge then ordered the funds to be donated to the Crime Victims Compensation Fund instead. Rolling was executed via lethal injection at the Florida State Prison on October 25, 2006. As a final statement, he sang a gospel song for a few minutes. Some of the victims' family members were present to witness Rolling's death and showed little reaction when Danny was officially declared dead at 6:13 p.m. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about true crime are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.